Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. We're kicking things off today with a statistic that, honestly, it might just make you do a double take. Ready?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so Gen Z and millennial knowledge workers, like so many of us, spend an astonishing 38 to 40 hours of their 40-hour work week on communication.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, let that sink in. Essentially, your entire work week, just talking, emailing, slacking, meetings, the lot.
It's truly eye-opening, isn't it? I mean, for so many people, especially here hybrid or remote, communication is basically the job.
Right.
But here's the core issue that our deep dive really uncovered. We often just treat all communication the same. We default to the same habits, Doesn't matter what the situation is.
Like that quick Slack ping gets the same energy as a really crucial one-on-one.
Exactly. Or maybe a high-stakes project handoff gets kind of buried in a comment thread somewhere.
Yeah.
And the result,
well,
the delays, confusion, and yeah, those meetings that should have been emails, we've all been there.
we absolutely have. So today's mission, it isn't about communicating more. I think clearly we've got that covered.
That's all we got that covered.
It's about communicating better. We're going to unpack what that really means, how to actually do it, and maybe most importantly, why it's so vital for a healthy, productive work life.
Okay.
And this deep dive, it's built around insights from an article by Bigtincan. They actually describe it as another episode of Bigtincan Uncanned. It's a really comprehensive piece titled The Top Do's and Don'ts for Improving Workplace Communication.
Ah, okay. Good source.
Yeah, we've pulled out the most important sort of nuggets of knowledge from this valuable source to guide our conversation today.
Sounds great. So you can expect us to explore the real value of effective communication, maybe dissect the different types,
Yeah.
uncover some common pitfalls to avoid,
Yeah.
and hopefully arm you with some practical tips to, master workplace communication.
Making every interaction count.
That's the idea. It's about making every interaction count.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Because if we're spending that much time communicating, it better be good.
Right. It really better be. Because the alternative, as this Bigtincan article makes really clear, is, it's more than just annoying. It has real, tangible consequences.
Like what?
Well, the source reveals that poor communication is actually a top reason people think about leaving their jobs. Get this. A staggering 61% of employees who are thinking about moving on. They cite communication issues as part of the problem.
61%, that's huge.
It's massive. So
Yeah.
that's not just, minor frustration. It's a critical factor in employee retention, overall well-being, honestly, a huge cost to businesses. When clarity's missing, trust just erodes, and people, they start looking elsewhere.
Okay, so poor communication is a serious drain, but what about the flip side? What are the tangible rewards when a team or a company really nails it?
Now that's where it gets really interesting. Our deep dive into this topic, using the Bigtincan piece, highlights several really powerful impacts. First off, effective communication significantly reduces conflict.
Okay, how so?
Well, when expectations are clear and people feel, heard, you sidestep all those passive-aggressive message threads or that dreaded "why wasn't I looped in" moment.
Right. Avoids the drama.
Exactly. Clarity stops issues before they even have a chance to snowball. It's preventative.
Like a preventative measure for workplace friction. I like that.
Precisely. And it also makes teamwork smoother. Think about it. Whether it's two people co-editing a doc or a whole cross-functional team working asynchronously across time zones. Good communication keeps collaboration moving without needing constant check-ins.
So you're working with each other, not just sort of around each other.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
And this naturally boosts productivity. Makes sense, right? Clear direction, defined roles. It means less time trying to decode vague messages and more time actually doing the work.
And it feels like it goes beyond just, ticking off tasks. It sounds like it taps into the more human element of work.
It absolutely does. Strong communication improves engagement. I mean, when people feel informed, included, respected, they just show up differently, don't they?
Yeah, totally.
Even something simple, like a great point in a meeting or a thoughtful follow-up email, can make someone feel genuinely seen. And when people feel valued, it encourages them to stay.
That makes sense.
Open, respectful communication builds trust, and trust fundamentally is the glue that retains talent. Nobody wants to stick around on a team where feedback is, like, confusing or just doesn't happen.
Yeah, feeling connected and understood is so fundamental, isn't it? Especially when work can sometimes feel a bit isolating.
Which brings us to another really crucial point from the article. It actively supports well-being. This is especially true for remote teams, I think.
How so?
Well, regular thoughtful communication just builds connection. Even those lighter moments, a quick "how's your week going?" or, a well-placed emoji can help people feel like they're not just working alone in some void.
Right. Part of a team.
Yeah, they feel like part of a team, part of
Yeah.
something bigger.
So, okay, summing this part up. Good communication isn't just a soft skill or a nice to have. It's actually foundational for a thriving workplace. It impacts everything from daily tasks to long-term retention, company culture. It's central.
That's the key takeaway from this section, I think. It's not peripheral. It's absolutely pivotal.
Okay, so given all of that, it's pretty clear that effective communication isn't one size fits all. It sounds like communication isn't just one skill, but like a whole ecosystem of interactions.
It's a good way to put it.
So that makes me wonder, how do we even begin to categorize these? Or think about the different types of communication so we can actually make them better?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the Bigtincan source material helps us break it down into 4 core types. It really emphasizes that the best communicators, they know how to read the moment and adjust their approach.
Okay, let's explore those 4. What's the first one?
First up, we have verbal communication. This is your go-to for fast, direct conversations, in-person phone calls, video calls.
Team meetings, client calls.
Exactly. One-on-ones, those quick impromptu sync-ups. And for remote teams especially, the article points out that regular video calls aren't just about logistics. They're critical for building trust.
Great. Seeing faces helps.
It does. As the article says, a 5-minute conversation can do more than 5 threads of back-and-forth Slack messages. It helps you catch tone, clarify intent, and build actual relationships beyond just usernames.
I can definitely attest to that. So much gets lost in pure text, which I guess makes the next type, nonverbal communication, even more critical, but also more challenging remotely.
Exactly right. Nonverbal cues. We're
Right.
talking eye contact, tone of voice, posture, facial expressions. These add all that emotional weight and nuance we instinctively pick up on when we're face-to-face.
But remote work kind of strips that away.
It strips a lot of it away, yeah.
Yeah.
Without those visual cues, a really short message might come across as cold, or maybe a long pause on a video call feels like disapproval when it isn't. That's why the article really stresses the need to, over-clarify and actively manage your tone in digital settings. It's why voice and video still matter so much.
Okay, got it. Then we have the real workhorse of the digital age, written communication, emails, DMs, proposals, docs.
Yes, exactly. It's less immediate, sure, but it's far more permanent and absolutely critical for asynchronous work, right? The article highlights that a clear written message saves time, whereas a sloppy one just causes endless back and forth.
So it's the difference between sending, "Can you take a look?" versus,
Can you review slide 5 for accuracy before EOD? Specificity is everything here. It removes ambiguity, makes sure everyone's on the same page.
Makes sense. And finally, the 4th type, visual communication. Seems like this is becoming increasingly powerful.
It really is. Think presentations, videos, screen shares, dashboards, diagrams, even just a quick whiteboard sketch. They all help explain complex ideas quickly and clearly.
Especially for distributed teams.
Absolutely. Especially then, where context might be limited and attention spans, well, they can be short. The article gives a great example. Instead of talking through a product update for the 5th time, show it. A quick 2-minute Loon video or an annotated screenshot can often do the heavy lifting.
Cuts through the noise.
Cuts right through it, effectively.
Interesting. The article also mentions briefly that workplace communication exists on a spectrum, right? From formal stuff like HR policies to informal, like just casual chat or emoji.
That's right. And it notes you really need both. Formal sets the expectations, but informal builds trust and connection.
Got it. Each type serves a unique purpose.
Exactly. And the real magic happens when you know when to deploy which one and how.
Okay, so this is where we get down to brass tacks. How do we actually do this? What are the practical steps, the real do's and don'ts from the Bigtincan article that can make a difference?
Right. This section in the article is really all about choosing the right medium, using the best tools, and just striking the perfect balance for each situation. Let's kick off with the do's.
Okay, let's hear them. What should we do?
First, do keep communications concise. Pretty straightforward, but crucial. When you're sharing information, be short, be to the point. Avoid rambling or repeating yourself.
Less is more.
Often, yes. And the article suggests, especially with visual communications, make sure the messaging is clear and striking, but not like visually overwhelming. They mention things like visual scorecards for sales reps. A clear snapshot of progress makes coaching easier.
Get to the point, visually and verbally. Got it. What else should we do?
Do be authentic. This is a big one. People are emotional beings. They can usually tell if you're just going through the motions.
Yeah, you can sense fakeness.
Totally. So whether you're celebrating a win, pitching a client, giving feedback, sincerity, empathy, being mindful of your tone, it's all crucial. Think about a sales call where the rep just keeps saying, "That's a great question," in the exact same flat tone.
Feels like filler.
It feels like filler, exactly. Lacks credibility. The article actually notes that tools like AI-powered conversation intelligence can help sales reps practice and perfect not just their message, but even their vibe, so they communicate more authentically.
That makes perfect sense. Authenticity builds that trust. And I'm guessing tailoring your message is also key.
Precisely. Third, do. Do tailor your messaging to the listener. Before you hit send or jump on a call, just pause and ask yourself, what do they actually need from this?
Right. It's not one size fits all.
Definitely not. A sales rep probably doesn't need a 5-paragraph strategy update. They need one clear takeaway they can act on, like today. But a content marketer might need more context, more structure. Tailoring shows you respect their time and how they process things.
And the article mentioned tools for that too.
Yeah, it highlights how tools that help with personalized content delivery, like some AI assistants, can make it easier to send the right stuff to the right person and get better responses.
Okay. And the final, do. Probably the most fundamental.
Do listen. Yes. Cannot stress this enough. Communication has to be a two-way street, right?
Yeah.
Your frontline staff, they often see issues bubbling up long before leadership does.
They're on the ground.
Exactly. Employees need to be heard, and leaders have a real responsibility to empower them to speak up and then to listen actively, empathetically. It's only when communication flows easily both ways that you get real understanding.
So things like surveys, regular check-ins.
Yes, the article suggests things like surveys, regular check-ins, and leveraging integrations with common communication and CRM tools to make that listening process easier and more systematic.
Okay, powerful do's. Now for the other side of the coin, the don'ts. What should we absolutely try to avoid?
All right, first big one. Don't overwhelm your people. Yes, communication is vital, but just nonstop messages, meetings, pings can absolutely tank productivity fast.
That feeling of being always on.
Exactly. That pressure leads to constant context switching, that never-ending stream of notifications. It just results in overwhelm and missed details. So the article's top tip here is to use AI to work smarter, not louder.
How does AI help there?
Well, think about it. A Grammarly report cited says 68% of knowledge workers find generative AI helps them communicate more effectively. This could mean, summarizing long email threads, drafting quick follow-ups, or using platforms that automatically capture calls, pull out action items, and deliver the right content when needed. It makes communication useful, not just another source of burnout.
Less noise, more signal. I like that. Okay, what's another common trap to avoid?
Don't shy away from tough topics. This is critical. Good communication isn't just about the positive stuff. It means tackling those uncomfortable conversations with clarity and respect.
Like performance issues or difficult client feedback.
Exactly. If you avoid addressing performance issues or you ignore tough client feedback, the problem doesn't just vanish. It festers and usually gets worse. The article uses the example of a rep consistently missing targets if you keep skirting around the issue. That's not feedback, it's just avoidance.
So be direct but respectful.
Be direct about what's going wrong. And the article suggests, for those really stressful conversations, tools that provide meeting transcription and summaries can be helpful. They capture the notes, so you can actually focus on listening and the conversation itself.
Okay, so avoidance is a definite don't. What about the actual purpose of our communication?
Yeah, it leads to the next one. Don't communicate without a clear purpose. Calling meetings with no clear goal. Flooding inboxes with endless email threads. It just adds to the noise. Makes it harder to spot what actually matters.
Applies to client comms too, I bet.
Absolutely. A sales email that just buries the ask in 3 paragraphs of fluff. Totally ineffective. The article suggests using communication analytics, things like engagement reports from digital sales rooms or conversation insights, to see what content and topics are actually landing. If your key stuff isn't getting engagement, that's a sign it needs sharpening. Be purposeful.
Makes sense. Use data to refine. And finally, a don't that can really hit team morale hard.
Yes, don't leave anyone out. Accidentally excluding individuals or groups from important communications can lead to all sorts of problems. People working with outdated information, missing compliance requirements, or just feeling isolated.
And feeling isolated is a fast track to disengagement.
One of the fastest ways to lose good people. So the article suggests using platforms that can act as a single source of truth, maybe with role-based content distribution and tracking, to make sure everyone gets the relevant info they need when they need it.
Okay, wow. So we've unpacked the huge impact, negative and positive, of communication, the different types, and now this really practical roadmap of do's and don'ts from Bigtincan. It feels like the path forward is really about building a strong communication culture.
It absolutely is. And the article is really clear on this. Fixing it starts with leadership. Building that strong communication culture isn't just, a side project. It's essential to how work actually gets done. It means investing in emotional intelligence, actively practicing listening, using that right mix of communication types for each moment.
And it seems like the tools the article mentions, the types we've discussed from Bigtincan and others, can really help facilitate all this. They provide the infrastructure.
Yeah, they can significantly help. From AI summaries and personalized coaching to collaborative pitch decks and smart content delivery, these tools can genuinely equip teams to communicate more clearly and, crucially, connect more effectively, whether they're in the office or remote.
What an insightful deep dive. So we started by highlighting that, frankly, shocking amount of time we spend communicating.
Right. The whole week.
Then we explored the high stakes of getting it wrong versus the huge benefits of getting it right. We broke down those 4 core types: verbal, nonverbal, written, visual, and finally armed ourselves with these really practical do's and don'ts from the Bigtincan article to hopefully transform how we interact at work.
It's a powerful roadmap, I think, for anyone looking to make their communication just more impactful day to day.
Definitely. Now, here's a final thought for you, our listeners, to maybe mull over. Consider the last time you felt truly heard at work. Or maybe the last time a message you sent really landed perfectly, just as intended. What was different about those moments, and how can you maybe replicate that intentionality, that care, more often in your own communications, both at work and maybe even beyond?
Something to think about. Always be intentional.
Indeed. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep communicating better.